So this year at the garden we wanted to try something different than just tying up our tomatoes. We wanted to try the Florida weave. So the Florida weave is great because it allows the tomato stem to grow no matter what. Seeing that if we would have tied them like these, we had to make sure they were loose, but this could be as tight as possible and it's still going to allow the width growth that the tomato stem needs. It's lower maintenance than tying up tomatoes. As you can kind of see, some of the tomatoes could use a little tie up, but all of our tomatoes in the Florida weave are doing great. So for what I do for the Florida weave is you're going to need some T-posts, that's kind of essential, and some tomato string. So what I do is I usually just count about 3 or kind of eyeball it with some of the taller ones, and I will tie the string to the post just so that there's a good anchor point. Then once it's tied, I always wrap it around a few times just to make sure we have a good base to start weaving with. And then I'll just run it along on one side of the tomatoes until I reach the next post. Get the string about even, and then I always make great thing about this is that if you have it tight, it will not let them fall over. So I always just give it an extra little pull before I start wrapping it again. And then I wrap it about 3 or 4 times before I continue down. And you would continue this process until you reach the end. We recommend that you place a T-post at least every 10 feet for tomatoes, just so that if you have a lot of tomatoes weigh a lot. You would be surprised, and if you do not have the support, you'll have your T-post start to bend, and that is not good. So once we get to the end, it's kind of just making sure it's tight, wrapping it around, and then you continue the process, but you end on the other side of the T-post. Walk all the way down again, continuing the tight lines. Then towards the end, just making sure you also have that same tight line. Go around a few times. And I always like to give myself enough string so that I have a good knot so that it won't come undone. And then after that, I'll just come through and reposition our tomatoes so that they can make the best out of the new anchor point that we've created for them. So it's just making sure that they're in between, they're not falling over, checking the old ones, moving them in if they need to be. Kind of watching out for the suckers because those can slow down your plant.